Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and for everybody who is new, I'm Leorah and I'm so glad you found me. So welcome to today's video, which is going to be the review of this palette. I want to do today my third look with this palette, and this is how she looks. So this is the Fright palette from the Creative Soul Cosmetics, and I bought this actually immediately when I spoke about this on in my new makeup releases videos. I immediately went and bought this because I felt like this is such a cool palette. I don't know if you remember me talking about this, but I thought these rows, it's just so spectacular, you know? So that's why I went ahead and bought it. And yeah, so I have done already 2 looks with this one. And today, I still don't know honestly what exactly I want to do. Probably something a little bit more dipping into the purples because I have not used them too much yet. So we shall see. It's exciting. All right. Also, I have to mention that I have a new setup here. This is my first video that I am filming with my new setup, with more lighting, with more like professional lighting. And also, I don't know, you probably remember that the video that I did about the Hallel for You palette from Rebel Rogue Labs, where the light kept changing depending on how I moved. That was because my mirror was up, you know, it was like this height, and I always had to keep it out of your frame so you don't see it, but at the same time it was always blocking partially the light that came from this side towards my face. So now it is lower, it's right here, and it's so strange because I have not done makeup looking down in a long time. So we shall see. I hope this is gonna work. As time goes on, I still want to improve, of course, my lighting more, and I still don't know really with the camera settings and everything. I'm trying my best, so let's see. Okay, so my face is basically, or my eyes are primed. Of course, it has creased a little bit because, you know, that's what happens when I don't immediately start putting on my eyeshadow. All right, so I think, let me just look at the palette again. I think what I want to do is I want to go in with this purple here. I have used this shade once before, but only for a liner. I made a liner out of it for my second look, I believe. So, or should we go in with the first one? You know what? Changing the plan. I'm going to go in with this one first, and then I'm going to back it up with this one. So let's just try, you know? I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen? Yeah. Okay, so the first shade is called Monster. All right, so I am not very much into, you know, Halloween and all of that. I purely bought this palette for the color scheme, because, you know, I'm not celebrating Halloween and I'm not really, like, I'm not living that life, but the palette is beautiful. Okay, so gonna push this on, and of course also at the end of the video I'm going to talk to you then about the performance of all the other shades that I've used so far. And I think what I want to do is I want to use the gray a little bit more. I don't know, have I ever, I don't think I've even used any of the grays except that the white glitter. Let me just get a different brush. I think I want to also put on a little bit of my Bone Color Matte just already at the get-go, because purples are sometimes a little bit hard to blend out, and it's gotta be nice. All right, sweeties, I'm getting a little bit more comfortable here in front of the camera. Sounds like I've just only now started my YouTube channel, which is of course not true. This is the 4th look that I'm actually filming again after my long break. Yeah, I'm still excited about it, but in a good way, you know? It's not so much scary anymore. It's just that I'm still trying to figure out all the things around me, which has really not so much to do with me doing makeup. It's more, you know, all like the settings, the setup, everything. Because I want it to be nice. I also wanted, you know, I want the colors to show up nicely. I want it also to be enjoyable for you, of course. And I mean, what sense does it make if because of wrong camera settings or wrong lighting, or I don't know, something blocking my face, you know, if something, if it's not enjoyable for you at the end, you know, that doesn't make sense, right? So I want it to be really nice, and I'm kind of a perfectionist, as you probably know by now. So I've been trying a lot these last days to like go back and forth between camera settings and trying to figure this out, but Anyway, it is also, of course, a little bit hard to get like professional help right now because like everything is closed. So I'm using different mirrors, just so you know. Okay, so that is that. I think the build-up is nice. There was one shade actually, and I'm going to talk about that also a little bit later in the review part, that did not perform so well, and I just couldn't build it up. I just couldn't. I had to just sort of try to save the look because unfortunately that shade took the most space in the look, you know. But I'm going to show you. Okay, so I'm going to go over this again with my Bone Color matte. It was actually quite the experience to try to get another ring light here into my life because, you know, I went to a lot of stores and of course they are closed, but I just wanted to look in the storefront windows to see if anyone has a ring light. And because I had seen previously, I had ring lights, I had seen ring lights in stores, and apparently during lockdown stuff like this gets sold out. I don't know how that is even possible, and I also don't know how a lot of people in the area where I live, which is a very religious area, like, are there so many YouTubers here? Because like who buys ring lights, really? Like, I don't know. All right, so let's concentrate. Leorah, concentrate. Okay, I'm gonna go and take another brush and I'm gonna go in that shade. So this looks a little bit destroyed. I should show you. This looks really horrible. That is only because I scratched a pigment off that in order to make a liner. So this is called Potion. This is actually a beautiful, beautiful shade of a purple. Really, really pretty. So let's just try to sort of push that in here. Unfortunately, when it gets wet, of course, and I didn't consider that, but it just makes sense when it gets wet with the Duraline where I did the liner with, it gets a little bit darker, you know, and that of course makes total sense. I just didn't consider it, unfortunately, that, you know, that happens. So I lost a little of the effect that that purple has, but it's a super, super pretty shade. Alright, so I'm basically right now just sort of pushing it on and not even blending too much. But I think you can see that it's building nicely. There is absolutely no problem with this. And now I'm going to switch brushes again and I'm going to go into that first shade. And I'm just going to sort of blend them into each other. So anyway, what happened then? How did I get that ring light? Honestly, I wanted to get two because right now I only have one in front of me and one right here, and I want to have that same ring light on the other side. But so I don't know, I went online and I sort of Googled ring lights Jerusalem, you know, because I felt like, what's going on, you know, like, I'm a YouTuber, I need a ring light. And I can't really like ordering it and then it takes forever and then maybe it arrives broken. I can't, like, if I order it online, that is not what I want to do. I want to buy it here, you know, where I can also potentially get service and stuff. So I don't know. So I Googled it, and actually a photography store in downtown Jerusalem that I have walked by already, you know, it popped up. And there it was, ring lights. But of course everything is closed. So I contacted them and they said, you know what, we can sell it to you. You just have to come by and pick it up once the lockdown is over. This actually looks pretty good. Is it just because my mirror is so far away, or is it really pretty? Alright, you know what, before I keep talking, I think I'm going to go into the gray shimmers. There's one silver and there's one grayish kind of a shimmer, like this is the silver one, and this one here, it actually looks a little bit more like a taupey gray. Let's just see. How does this look? It's not a pure gray. Gray. It's not a pure gray. It is sort of like taupey leaning, you know? This is really, really cool. So I think I'm going to put the lighter one in the inner corner and then the other one, you know, a little bit further in. So let's just try to do that. I'm going to continue in my story in a little bit. Yeah. All right. So anyway, let's just try to put that on. I'm so thrown off. Wait, let me just switch my mirror to the magnifying part, which is so weird also because it sort of distorts my face a little bit, but All right, so anyway, that is what it was. And so I was in touch with that person of the photography store, and she said, no, it was a he, but I didn't know that. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for the story. So anyway, he said that he's going to check if they have. Okay, so anyway, they did actually have, and I said I want to have 2. So then he checked and he said no, they only have 1, and they're not getting anything delivered. I'm gonna go in with the other shade, the taupey one. They're going to don't get anything delivered as of right now because, you know, the suppliers, they don't get anything right now. This is so cool. So what should I do next? The dark gray or the black? Maybe the black, maybe the black. So I'm so bad at telling stories. Anyway, it's also not a super interesting story. I just wanted to sort of share a little bit how I tried to get this ring light. Anyway, so I'm gonna go in also with my fingers and just backing this up. Even though the pickup on the brush and the performance is actually really good, I just wanted to like sort of push that on a little bit more. So my husband and I ended up going to that store, driving. Once the complete lockdown was over, we could actually go, you know, leave our neighborhood, and that's what we did. And we went downtown to get ourselves this ring light, or get that for me, not for my husband. And but then on the way to downtown, I got a message from that guy, and he said, oh, by the way, I got yourself another one. And I thought, okay, that's great, but that's gonna be too expensive to buy all of that in 1 month. So I asked him if he can still hold it for me, you know, for next month. And he said, okay, no problem, because, you know, obviously they're not selling anything anyway. So yeah, so he was all for that. And so I might then have to change my lighting again. I honestly don't know how to do it. I honestly don't know how to do it because I have my whole collection here, like a big shelf with my whole, or most of my palettes, and I basically have to move that in order to include another ring light. This is probably not interesting to you at all. But anyway, how does this look? I think this is potentially gonna look really nice. So I don't know how to yet how to really do all of this, but we're gonna figure it out as we go along, I'm sure. So anyway, I'm just going to sort of go in with that second purple and sort of try to blend that with the black, something like that. Something like that. Okay, so I have an idea for a liner, and I actually want to go into this red glitter. I want to use that to make a liner together with my door line from Inglot. So I think I'm going to do that, but I'm not going to do that on camera because it's going to take me a long time to do this, because, you know, I'm not so good yet at doing those homemade liners, and you know, it's a struggle, but I want to do it because I love doing it. I'm totally into like these special liners that like really stick out in the look. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to perfect this a tiny little bit more with the blending and everything, and then I'm going to meet you here in a second for the under eye area. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, sweeties, this is how it looks now. I haven't put on my falsies yet, and I only now realized that I forgot to zoom you in. This is a mess. This is such a mess. Anyway, this is how it should have been. I'm so sorry. So anyway, oh. All right, so this is how the way it looks now. I did put on that red glitter liner. It's hard to say. And I think for my lower or my under eye area, I think I want to go actually in with this gray matte and maybe back it up with the black, you know, just like be a little bit dark today. Okay, so let's just do that. Let's just do that and see what happens. Okay, so that gray shade is called Grave, I think. That's nice. All right, so I'm gonna be a little bit more careful now with the shades, because of course my foundation is on now. I haven't done any contouring or anything, so at this stage it always looks so horrible, honestly. I mean, not the eyes, but the foundation. I don't know, I hate it how it looks now. But anyway, that's always what we have to go through. And yeah. All right, so anyway, I still wanted to finish the story because the whole thing with the ring light, the stores are closed, you know, the stores are still closed, and that guy who wanted to give me the ring light or sell me the ring light, he was in the store. He was just doing some, I don't know, inventory or something. He was doing something there, and actually I don't know how to say that, the shutters of the store, everything was closed. And when we stood in front of that store and we were like, okay, how are we gonna get in? Like, how do you, like, should I knock or whatever? So I contacted him on the phone number that he had given me, and then he basically opened the store just for us, which was really, really nice. And we got to buy what we had to buy, which was a tripod and the ring light, of course. And this looks cool. This looks really cool. Okay, let me just quickly get in with my bone color mat and just try to, like, you know, blend this out a tiny little bit, and then I'm just going to go in with the black closer to my lower lash line. By the way, I do have like a dark lavender shade on my waterline, in case you were wondering. This looks pretty cool, I have to say. You know, this is actually the look that I had in mind, which is crazy because something like this almost never happens. Usually my looks turn out differently. But, you know, okay, so now let's go black. What is this? Black cat. The font on the shade names is a little bit hard for me to read because I'm just, you know, not so good at this. So anyway, yeah, so we got to buy the stuff, and he's going to save my the other ring light for me, which is also nice. So yeah, everything turned out well, and slowly I get to improve my situation here a little bit, and that is actually really, really awesome. Yeah, because I want to, you know, I want to be good at this, and I want it to look good, you know. So I hope that's gonna help me a long way. All right, so this is the black on top of that dark gray, and that is so cool. Okay, so I don't have falsies on. I don't have mascara. Well, mascara on my top lashes I do have on. I think what I want to do, I don't know what to do for my inner corner. Should I go in with the glitter, or is that going to be too much? Maybe not. Maybe, I don't know. Where am I? Here. Maybe I could go in with this one. This is from MAC. This is Soft Frost, one of those what is it called? Dimension something highlighters. I think because this is white and has like a purple shift to it. You probably don't see it right now, but it does. So maybe that's what I'm going to put in the inner corner. I was thinking if I would have had like a white glitter, I would have put that into the inner corner, but I think I want to have something here. You see the purple shift? I hope you see the purple shift. Something like that. Oh, maybe what I also could do is I could just sort of drag this around here. Maybe something like this. It sort of makes the whole thing a little bit softer, I believe. Okay, so that is basically the look. So what I'm going to do now is, of course, finish my face and, you know, put on falsies and put on whatever I have to put on. I also want to, of course, finish my styling because this is not probably how I'm going to look today. I honestly don't know what I'm going to wear today. And then I will film the swatches. That's what you're going to see next. And then I'm going to meet you here with the finished look, the finished styling and everything for the review part of the Fright Palette from the Creative Soul Cosmetics. This one. sweeties, here we are back with the finished look, with the finished styling, and with the swatches that you just saw also in the swatch video. Of course, you also saw the other two looks that I have done with the palette, and now you know. Now you know I have actually used quite a bit of this palette, and also especially after today, and I think honestly that today's look is the most beautiful of all the ones I did according to my own taste. I'm just super thrilled that it turned out that way, like this, like for the review look, you know, to be the most beautiful. That's just the best. So anyway, I'm going to zoom you in so you can form your own opinion. Of course, you saw how I did it, and also basically the only thing I still added was mascara on my lower lashes and of course my falsies, and besides that I finished my face and everything else was already done. So yeah. All right, so let's zoom you out and let's talk a little bit. Okay, maybe let's start with the swatches because I just did that. So I have to say, color scheme wise, of course, I think it is beautiful. Otherwise I wouldn't have bought it. It's a beautiful palette with a beautiful, wonderful color scheme with good depth in the palette, which is also for me personally always very important. Then of course you have a couple of pressed glitters, which is the red one. It is this light silver one. Sorry, you can't even see. It's the red one, this one here, it's the light silver one, it's this lavender one, it's the black one, and then here this one, which is actually pretty phenomenal. This is like a fuchsia purple mix, you know. This is probably my most favorite shade in the palette color wise, you know. All right, so performance wise in the swatches, I want to say that most of them performed super well. This one here is actually the shade that I mentioned already in the beginning of the video. This is like a neon orange, and I know it is, first of all, it's hard to work with neons, and it is also hard to formulate neons, you know. So I maybe shouldn't have expected like a super high performance. I have never had a single palette with neons that was like super beautiful performance. Okay, so I have to throw that in just to be fair. And this was color wise, it's a beautiful shade, but performance wise it was not my favorite. This was the one in the second look. I used that sort of as a transition shade, and then I built, I believe, this one or this one on top of it, and the buildability was good, but this one just peeled off and flaked away, and that was a little bit of an issue. But again, you know, neons are not the most, like, the easiest to work with. Anyway, okay, so this one and also this one came across. This is that dark gray that I have actually under my lower lash line. It's swatched a little bit thin, but I have to say under my eyes, even though the area is very small that I used it in, it performed super well. And for what you're using it usually is already like to do a smoky eye, right? And for that I think it is actually phenomenal. All right, so and all of these actually were also super nice. I also have to say, when I used the purples, they were not patchy or not, like, I can't even say that there was any problem, because it can be very problematic to work with purples. They are one of the most difficult shades to work with, I would say, together with blues and stuff, you know. It's not an easy color to work with, but I have to say that they actually performed super well. And yeah, so that is that. I also think the black is actually super nice. A super nice, well pigmented black that it gives you a lot in this palette. And also this shimmer, which is the one that I used in the middle of my lid, this is the one that is sort of a little bit leaning towards taupe, is spectacular, absolutely spectacular. The other one that I used today, which was, where is it, here, this one is like a light a silver shimmer, performed better on the eye than in the swatches. And again, swatches can be so misleading. Sweeties, don't put too much meaning into swatches. It is really, it doesn't mean that much. It just shows you how all the shades look against my skin, okay? That's all it means, seriously, okay? Not very often the performance of the swatch really levels up exactly with the performance on the eye. I don't think I've ever encountered that. So usually, for me personally, again, this is all very personal. For me, it feels like the performance on the eye is always better. Always, for me. But, you know. So anyway, these are the swatches. This is the palette. Of course, we have cardboard packaging. We have a very on-theme artwork here. At the back we have the ingredients, and of course this is how it looks. We have a big mirror, we have all those beautiful shades, we have shade names, everything of course in the theme of Halloween. Okay, so again, Halloween is not my piece of cake. Like really, I had to overcome a hurdle for me personally to buy this palette because it has that theme. But I think that the color scheme in this palette is just so appealing that I just had to do it. Plus it doesn't have like, I don't know, horrible creatures or something on it. So for the most part. So, you know, I kind of felt like I can get away with it. But anyway, this is a beautiful palette. I really have to say that I really enjoyed everything that I used. What did I not use? I can't even tell you. I think most of the shadows I used, though I think the black one, I'm not 100% sure now, honestly. There were a couple of pressed glitters that I didn't use, which is strange because I used a lot. I absolutely used a lot. But anyway, the second look, the one with the overwhelming orange appeal, where I also used this one, this is what I spoke about before, that was an all matte look basically, and then I just used this one with Inglot, of course, as a liner, a purple liner. Yeah, so that is that. I think I got a lot out of this palette. I think it is super creative the way they did that, and immediately I fell in love with this, as I already told you, and that's why I bought it immediately, because I wanted to definitely try Creative Soul Cosmetics. I've been watching them for quite some time now, ever since I started to do my new makeup releases videos. I'm getting exposure like for so many brands. This one say it like this. No, I'm getting exposed to so many brands that I just, you know, I just really want to try so much and just be able to tell you, you know, this performs like that, this performs like that. So for the most part, where would I put this performance wise? For the most part, maybe besides this one shade here, I would probably put it around Glam Light formula. You know, it was a very good formula. And also the glitters were really good. The binder was really good. I barely had any fallout. I didn't use it on anything. I just used the glitter on its, like the way it is in the palette. Losing my brain here. Yeah, so I can only say that this was a very good experience. I super enjoyed it. I think maybe in the first look I shouldn't gone overboard with all the glitters, because I really packed them on like on top of each other, and that maybe in the pictures it looks good, on video it looks good. If it in real life looked so good, I don't know, maybe. I think I'm always super critical of myself, so that's why I'm not the perfect person to judge myself. But I think overall, I think I had a really good experience, and I felt super good to be on camera wearing those looks. And yeah, so overall it was just really nice. I think you should definitely go and check out Creative Soul Cosmetics. I think that is a brand that we should look out for. If the other products are like this, I could absolutely recommend this brand. Besides that, I hope you did enjoy yourself. Please leave me your comments in the comment section down below. Of course, you will find everything else that I used in the description box, together with my affiliate codes and all of that. Besides that, of course, if you're new here, I would love it if you were to subscribe to my channel. And I have to apologize for being all over the place in this video. I don't know, I'm just having too much coffee these days. I'm just trying to get through the day. But anyway, it is what it is. And also the lighting situation, we're figuring it out as we go along. It's a journey. And when I think about how I started this channel, really, we have come a long way together, and I'm so glad that you're all here. So of course I'm going to see you next time here for my next video, which is going to be super soon. And up until then, hugs and kisses. Bye.